Hey, welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be the last video for today. I hope you're having a good evening thus far, and I hope you had a great day today. And if you haven't gotten a chance, I have actually uploaded, this is my fourth one today, so I've had 3 other videos that have uploaded throughout the day as well. So if you have not gotten a chance to check them out, I hope you will take the time to do so. Yeah, there's a lot of videos kind of ranging over a lot of different topic areas. The last video that I had uploaded was the one about the Georgia father that has been released from prison after 10 years when he was originally sentenced for life without parole and 32 plus on top of that. So yeah, it was definitely a viral case. Everybody was watching that probably glued to their television screens, or whatever way you were watching it, because it was quite a just a real sad situation all around. So but yeah, that video is up, so go ahead and make sure you get a chance to take a look at it. And this is also going to be, as you can see already from the title, another roundup. Like I shared with the other roundup video, this is basically just some stories that I wanted to share that I didn't get a chance to do solo focus for throughout the week. So I wanted to kind of wrap them all up since they were of this week, and yeah, get them out to you, and let's maybe conversate a little bit in the comment section. So yeah, I am pretty tired. I don't know how you might be feeling, but I'm pretty beat. So I plan on sleeping real good tonight. But I definitely want to get this particular story out. And this roundup is still the reality TV edition. And it's only 2 individuals that we're going to be talking about tonight. So yeah, I don't think this video be that long, but yeah, just go sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and get into it. So let me go ahead and pull it up. And yeah, I was actually kind of surprised to see, well, at least one of these individuals in the news for really anything, because she kind of just left reality TV and I hadn't seen much from her. So I was kind of surprised that she was actually going to I guess was in the works for doing another reality show. Not 100% sure about that, but it did fall through. So there's that. All right, so give me just 1 second. Gonna pop it up. Pretty sure you will recognize this young lady here. And this is Monique Samuels. She actually is one of the ladies that was on the Real Housewives of Potomac, which I absolutely love, and also Love and Marriage DC, which I have not seen any of that particular franchise. I believe that she was on Love and Marriage DC for 1 season, I believe, and RHOP for at least maybe 3-4 seasons maybe. And this may be unpopular opinion, I don't really know, but I really liked Monique, and I actually wish she would go back to RHOP. I know that her and her husband just recently divorced, and so very sad for that for her. So I hope she is doing well and her husband doing well as well, and also the kids as well. But I really enjoyed Monique on RHOP, and I also liked Monique and her relationship with Candace. So I was like pretty shocked that they kind of falling out, because those 2 together, boy, they were really an unstoppable duo. And I thought they would probably be matched up against Giselle and Robin, which maybe it kind of did happen that way in the turn, within the 2nd or 3rd season. Because if you remember, if you watched RHOP, Giselle didn't seem to have any interest in Monique as, the new person on the block. And yeah, so it was tension. It felt like from the beginning, right? But so I actually thought that Monique was a really good addition to the show. And also she gave, I felt, one of the best reunion scenes or reunion show displays in all of the franchise of all of the Housewives reunion shows. I mean, that yellow dress with that binder, yeah, she is not one to play with. She comes with the receipts, and I can respect that wholeheartedly. So he really has done it for me. I don't think anyone's come close to that yet. But yeah, and so if she could ever find her way back to Bravo, I would be happy about that. Or, any other type of reality show would be okay too. But apparently she was being looked at for the TV show Traitors. And I have watched a little bit of it. I think I saw a couple of episodes where Phaedra was on. I don't even know if the show is still on in its current season or if it's in hiatus yet. But if you do watch Traitors or have watched Traitors, tell me what you think about it, because I'm trying to see if I want to invest in any time into, checking it out. But I've heard good things about it. I just haven't had an opportunity to really sit down and watch it from beginning to end. So if you have seen it, drop it down in the comment section. Let me know, because I would really like to know if it was really good or not, or worth the time, to watch. So yeah, but there is some information that came across for Monique in regards to Traitors. I believe I had heard on one other show, and I can't remember which one it was at the moment, kind of escapes me. But they were looking at possibly she was going to be a cast member. So I was looking forward to maybe, seeing her in that. And then all of a sudden it seems like that got shut down and it's no longer happening. And that's what the story update for her is. We're going to kind of go over this evening. So I would, want to share that with you, and then, maybe get your thoughts about, what you think about it. So let's see. Reality T is basically sharing that Monique Samuels reveals why she rejected the Traitors after a shady alleged casting move. So I have a funny feeling that this has something to do with Candace. I don't know why, but I just do. So let's go ahead and get into it. Monique Samuels from Real Housewives of Potomac was supposed to be on season 3 of The Traitors. However, after hearing of an alleged scheme set up by producers, she kindly refused. I considered doing the show, she said in a video posted online. I was really excited about it. And personally, I think she would be really good for that show. From, as far as strategy and all that kind of stuff and what I heard about, I thought that she would have been a real good shoe-in. She further shares that they wanted me to be on the show, and I said, okay, let's do it. The former housewife continued, saying she and the producers began taking numbers, and for me to go away for that period of time, I need to make sure the money is good, she said. Later, Monique discussed the behind the scenes of reality TV, saying conversations halted until the last minute. But it seems it wasn't only the conversations about money that kept her from filming in Scotland. Monique said producers tried to get her on that. There you go. To try to get her on The Traitors with Candace Dillard Bassett. Now, if you remember, if you watch RHOP, the actual fight that Candace and Monique had, and that was probably, I don't know if it was Monique's second or third season on the show, but I don't even remember what their issue was, but it's something to do with somebody was running their mouth too much, and someone, kind of baited the other one to say, hey, if you're going to do something about it, do it. And the other one said, okay, and did just that. And I think they were like at a barn or something like that. There's some kind of event, and it was on, obviously, the show, and everything was filmed completely. And it was just really awful to see that it happened, and they never could get past that. So why they got there in the first place, I don't know. Of course, Candace, I love her, but she could have a slick mouth, and she knows this. So at the end of the day, things do happen, but they could never get back on point. So that was unfortunate. And I think unfortunate for the viewers too, because I really do think that as a duo, they really worked really well on that show. So on the back end, I heard about some shady stuff that was going on. Monique continued in her video. So apparently they were trying to put me and Candace Dillard Bassett from RHOP on The Traitors at the same time, which quite frankly, those two on the show, if they could get along, probably a really good show. Monique and Candace filmed seasons 3 to 5 of Potomac together until they got into a physical altercation. The former departed the series at the end of season 5 and has returned since. I didn't know that she was pregnant, Monique said. I didn't know that she was supposed to be on the show. The only reason I found out is because my manager is well connected. Monique called the alleged casting stunt low down and jacked up before questioning why someone pregnant would want to film a show like The Traitors anyway. Why would you try to take something from a totally different show and try to make it something that could potentially be very nasty? She questioned. The mother of 3 said, although she was excited to do the show, the network couldn't afford me. And once she learned of the shady stuff that allegedly occurred, Monique told Peacock to lose her number for good. And if you remember on her last reunion in the knockout yellow dress and her binder, she had actually had a bit of a conversation with Andy, and where they discussed about, how much money they were, she was making, and it wasn't given in dollar amount, but you could tell that, well, not, you really didn't have to tell. She said it directly out. Like, the money that she was getting for the show was not really paying the bills. Okay. So it wasn't something that she had to have, like maybe some other housewives would have needed. She made that very clear. So I'm not surprised that the money was going to be a conversation. And of course, you would want to make sure that you are getting paid what you feel you're worth. So, hey, I'm here for it. I was like, let them know that I declined not only this season, but every other season. Like, I'm not doing it at all now, because now you've turned me off. Whew. This sounds like a bunch of mess. And of course, The Traitors streams on Peacock. What day, I couldn't tell you. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be a day, does it? When it uploads to the platform, I don't know what day that is. But yeah, so wow, I find that to be unfortunate, because I actually would have watched that. I would have loved to watch that for both of them. Again, at the end of the day, I don't know why they had the falling out in the first place, what took place. It almost seems like whatever happened was something that was off the show. Because I think they really were truly friends, off the show as well. So I'm not sure exactly. But of course, after you have the fight, that is a little bit hard to come back from. But had they been able to kind of come together and get to an understanding, it would have worked out. And I kind of feel like Candace would have probably been okay with her being on there, because it's not saying anything about what Candace would have felt or thought. And I'm not really sure what her mindset would have been around that. But if I do come up with something or see something, I will certainly will update you guys and let you know what her thoughts are. But yes, Candace is pregnant, and so we're really happy for that for her. She's pretty much documented her journey on RHOP and had decided for the next upcoming season that she was going to sit that one out. We're not quite sure if she's going to come back. Candace is a very polarizing cast member on the show, so it really made sense that she would want to take some time away to really just bask in the concept of pregnancy and work on things that would be a little bit less challenging, we'll say. So we'll see if she'll come back. We don't know. I think at this point she was just saying she was taking a break. So there's that. But according to Monique, she said she's done all together. So that's a wrap on that. So we may not see anything from Monique anymore. But yeah, that's unfortunate, because I think that those two ladies would have done a really, really good job. It would have been fun to watch and, see how things would have ended up. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be. So, let me know. Are you disappointed? Do you think that it was a good idea to try to put these two together secretly, knowing the background? Or do you think that the producers should have maybe said something, maybe asked first if it would be an issue for her before they got into negotiations and before they got things set up to start going with planning out how the cast was going to go? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about it. So that being said, on that one, I think pretty much wraps up that story for the most part. The next culprit is one I actually just did a video on a few days ago. And I'm sure you're dying to see more of Miss Angela. It just seems like the hits just keep on hitting when it comes to Miss Angela. If you would have caught the video that I did a few days ago, that was basically talking about the situation with her and Michael, and her basically sharing that she was going to, I guess, go to the government because he had put out her tax information in some kind of social forum to where other people could see it and all of this. And it's just been, nonstop drama for Angela and the 90 Day franchise. And, her and Michael, if you have not been following 90 Day or never watched any of the seasons, they're actually a reality TV couple that's been on probably almost every single franchise show of 90 Days, except maybe the other way. And they may have, if Angela wanted to move to Nigeria, as you probably would have been on that one too. The last one that, other than the current season they're on right now, for 90 Day Fiance, I think Happily Ever After is this one, was The Last Resort. And so I wasn't surprised that they were on that episode, that show, that season. I think that came out sometime last year. And I did watch that whole entire season. It was actually really good. She was on there with Michael. Kalani was on there with Osuelo. Congratulations to Kalani on her new baby girl with her new man. And then there was some other couples there, Big Ed and his girlfriend, who they've broken up. And I can't think of her name right now, but she's got a new man. So everybody's kind of glowing up from the partners that they had on the 90 Day franchise. And so that's really good for them. But yeah, you know, Angela and Michael, they're a polarizing couple. They have been since, I think, the beginning of their time. There is a huge age difference there, and it shows often. And, you know, a lot of people have maybe come to believe that Michael might have been scamming Angela, because they had actually been married, I think, about 5 or 6 years now. But, you know, along the way, there's always been conversations about that, and then kind of debunked by both. And then things started really cracking in the last couple of seasons of the 90 Day franchise area before The Last Resort. So I'd hoped after The Last Resort that they would have been, you know, cool and would have moved forward. Now, Angela is also very polarizing for the fact that she is quite the hothead, and she could be, you know, outright, really, honestly abusive, most people would say. There is one season, a 90 Day Fiance, I think that's Happily Ever After, where she flew to Nigeria. I don't believe that he knew she was coming, and turned around and was beating up his car and all this other nonsense, yelling and screaming and all this stuff outside the house. And it was really a crazy, chaotic mess. So I thought from that point on that Angela would actually have been, you know, off of 90 Days, but that didn't seem to be the case. But yeah, you know, so it's been kind of, you know, a really volatile relationship. They're kind of either they're really, really, really good, or they're really, really, really bad, right? They bottom out often. The reason why I believe that it's been so long for Michael to get to the States was the visa process just happened to be really long for him. I don't know all the details as to why. And that's what made Angela marry him when she was in Nigeria for one of her visits, because Angela would go to Nigeria quite often. But Michael now has made it to the United States, and now everything is blown up again and falling apart. And I don't think that there's a comeback for this. So I guess we will see. I'm not really watching the current season of 90 Days at the moment. If you are, go ahead, feel free to leave it down in the comment section. Let me know what you think of it. If you're not, you can let me know that as well. And I don't know if I'm going to actually watch this season, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm just not invested anymore as I once used to be. But I do like The Last Resort. So if they do another Last Resort, which I think they might, then I probably will watch that. And again, like I shared in the last video, part of the reason why I do that is because you can kind of almost see which couples are going to be on there. And it's usually the ones that are having also the most challenges. And they're known for that. So, you know, I don't think that there's another season of that for Angela and Michael. I think that was a one and done, but you know, I guess we'll see. Time will tell. But with that, apparently now Angela is got herself in another situation. I guess with all of the popularity or celebrity of her, if you will, because she's, like I said, very polarizing, and a lot of people know who she is. I guess was able to land herself an interview on the Drew Barrymore show, her talk show. And I have not really watched too many episodes of Drew Barrymore's show. For the little clips that I've seen here and there, it looks like they have a good time. And if you watch that video or that interview, I guess when she was on there, let me know. Let me know if you got a chance to watch it. I would assume it was, you know, aired live. What did you think of it? Because apparently it's nowhere to be found now, and there's something going on there, and there's people are speculating quite a bit of things, and maybe it's because of how she conducted herself is what I'm getting at. Because I think that it's only behind a paid wall now to actually watch this interview, either through YouTube and I think maybe Peacock, but we'll see in the article here. But I'd love to know your thoughts about that. So let's go ahead and go into that story as well. All right, so this is coming from cinemablend.com. shares that 90 Day Fiance's Angela Deem appeared on the Drew Barrymore show, and now CBS has removed the video. The interview was strangely been taken down. It's been a rough 2024 for Angela Deem after it seemed the 90 Day Fiance star was on an emotional rise with her husband, Michael, finally arriving in the U.S. over the holidays. But Michael fled the house soon after, reportedly told authorities he feared for his life, and has since been posting on social media about happily living elsewhere. Angela found a new platform to talk about her life outside of TLC when she appeared on the Drew Barrymore show for its June 17 episode. But anyone looking for the interview on social media will find that CBS has removed the videos. And so, of course, the big question is why? Why would it have been removed? Currently, anyone who missed Deem's Drew Barrymore show appearance can only watch it with Paramount Plus subscription or YouTube TV subscription, or possibly with another content provider, which makes us wonder why it was removed from other spots. In truth, the interview isn't too shocking for those familiar with her 90 Day Fiance history, which has been seen as Angela flashing her breasts mid-interview and spewing out a slew of curse words that would make a sailor blush. Yeah, that is Angela. For whatever reason, though, it seems that CBS has decided to scrub the video from YouTube, and there are no segments from Angela's appearance on the CBS series, official Instagram or Facebook pages. That said, Angela's posting thanking Barrymore and co-host Ross Matthews for inviting her on is still up on her Instagram page. So if you want to take a look at that, you can find Angela Deem on Instagram. And I guess if she hasn't taken that video down, the thank you video, you can catch it on there. As of this writing, we don't have an official reason for why the clips were removed, but there is a wide enough variety of possibilities. Perhaps the simplest explanation would be that it's a mistake made by someone on the social media team, and we'll see the clips return eventually. That'd be interesting, because I don't think we've ever heard of anything like that before. So I don't know if that's the easy, but I guess anything could be possible. They further say that they could also see a possibility that the show was hit with backlash from viewers for hosting Angela Deem and praising her wild antics, such as when she flew to Nigeria to damage Michael's car, which I'd mentioned just a moment ago. Hilariously enough, Drew Barrymore also confessed to having damaged the car of an ex and felt she had things in common with the reality star, which may be the reason why they asked her to come on the show in the first place, unless Drew Barrymore's show was trying to get some extra ratings. It's worth noting that Barrymore says she's never seen 90 Day Fiance, and this segment was intended to educate her on the show. So it's possible that she wasn't aware of the reality star's controversial nature, which I find that to be odd, because I would think that you would want to do some type of background check, if you will, on the guests that you have on your show, or somebody doing that and somebody running it through with her. Obviously, she may not be the one to do it directly, but you got producers and executive producers. You would think that there would be some kind of powwow about who is coming on the show, what they're known for, and all that good stuff. So I find that to be odd. And plus, everybody knows who Angela is if you know anything about 90 Days. All right, she's definitely made a mark for herself and a name for herself through that franchise. They also said they could even see a possibility in which TLC requested the content to be removed, given Angela Deem's recent comments about her relationship with the franchise. I didn't know that there was something said there. Basically, she says that in a recent live stream, Angela heavily implied that she would no longer be involved in 90 Day Fiance following the current season of Happily Ever After. If that's the case, I could see why the franchise wouldn't want her out in the world talking about the show on broadcast TV. As for where things currently stand with Michael and Angela, Angela said during the interview that they're still together. That said, I think the correct wording should be that they're still married. But based on what we're seeing, they are not living together. Because remember, Michael had basically went missing, took off, ran out, left all his stuff in the house with Angela, just pretty much went ghost. And there's missing posters all over the place for him. And then he ended up having to call the cops. I think he called it from a phone that, no one else could access or get the number for, and told the cops that he feared for his life. And he hasn't been sent. That probably not together either. I would probably say married is what it is, most likely. And again, my thoughts and my feeling personally, I don't think that there's a comeback from this unless it's all a ruse. And so we'll just have to see, I guess. But based on what we're seeing, they're not living together. So Angela might have filed for divorce if it endangered Michael's status as a U.S. citizen. But as we learned in the latest episode of 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, divorce does not impact the status in the country. And that can be true, because if you remember, if you were a 90 Day Fiance watcher, back so many episodes ago, a few years back, Danielle was a 90 Day franchise cast member, and she and Muhammad, I think her husband, he was at the time, they're no longer together. I think he might have been from Tanzania, but I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong on that. But he basically came to the States. I think she might have been there, I don't know, 6 months to a year or something like that. But he gets to the States. They go through the 90-day process. And, their situation was falling apart, honestly, from maybe day 2. And he didn't seem like he was that interested in marrying her. I felt like it was more of a friendship type of situation, or if at best, maybe even an acquaintanceship, if I can get that out. But it didn't seem like a lot of love there for any real reason. But I will say that Danielle was able to work on herself a lot, and but that divorce was very painful for her. And one of the things that she famously was trying to do was get him deported, because she felt she was being scammed. But it looks like things did not work in her favor. And what ended up happening is that there was a conversation about whether or not they would do an annulment or a divorce. And typically with annulments, those are like married for 6 months. It pretty much can act as if it never existed. And then divorce, of course, is divorce. And I believe that Danielle was trying to get the annulment because she was feeling that that would really play into that scamming situation. And if the marriage didn't exist, well, then your status and you coming here shouldn't exist either, right? So that was what was supposed to be trying to happen there. But it ended up not going that way. Divorce ended up being what was granted, and there was a lot of court back and forth for both of them. I think she was in Ohio initially, and Muhammad, when he fled, he took off. He ended up in Florida somewhere. There was also some issues with potential infidelity, that she thought he was messing around, calling other girls and stuff like that. So it really was doomed from the start, and some thought that he was probably scamming her too. But nevertheless, he was able to stay in country. They were able to get their divorce. He went on to be a truck driver. I'm not sure if that's what he still does, but he did come back around sometime later and apologize. They aired that on the show as well, so that everybody can see him apologize to her, because he really, I guess, felt bad about the situation and how he treated her, and he really did enjoy the friendship that they had, and that's kind of how they left things. Danielle hasn't been on the franchise for quite some time. She did participate in the single one of the first episodes for that, and she was on a date with a couple of guys, and it really didn't work out, but we got a chance to see her kind of getting out there. She was in nursing school. I would imagine she's probably done now. She did a little bit of a glow up to herself, and that was good for the self-esteem. She got herself a good group of girlfriends, and they travel together and do different things together, and it seemed like she was doing fine. So yeah, I think that she's probably good to go, and we probably won't see her on 90 Days anymore either. So that was basically how that worked out for her. So not necessarily guarantee that they'll get deported just because you guys get divorced. Furthermore, the article shares that they guess that, obviously we'll see what the rest of the year brings for them, and continue to watch the drama unfold, and what could be Angela's final season, which quite frankly, I think that the likelihood of that is really high, because I just don't, again, see where they go from here. She's really accusing him of some really, really crazy, heinous, illegal things, and I don't see how that you can come back from that. Whether it is a situation where he did it, then of course there's no coming back from that, right? Or if it's a situation where you thought he did something and now you've accused him of it and he didn't do it, and that gets found out, I still don't see where you're going to come back from that, right? Because any one of those situations threatens his residency status and his immigration status. And I think he literally just got here in December 2023. And this is after a long roughly 5 years, I think, process just to get here, because they had started off, I think, with the fiance visa, I believe, or maybe not the fiance visa. I'm sorry, the whatever, another visa. I don't know which one it was. There's several of them, I guess. And whatever that one was, they couldn't get him to the States. So she had decided, and it might have been the normal fiance visa. That might have been it. Yeah, I think that is. Yeah, okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that was probably it. That's the one that she was trying to get him to, where he would come to the States and they go through the 90-day process, get married, and then go ahead and move on with their lives. But he could not get over to the States from Nigeria for whatever reason. And I don't really know if we know the specifics. We just knew that they kept getting denied and things kept getting pushed back. And then, of course, then you had, the world stopping in 2020 and things really slow to a grind. And it just began to be more and more of a difficult process, and they were very frustrated. And then Angela ended up flying to Nigeria, and they ended up getting married in Nigeria, and decided they would change course, not do the fiance visa, but then do a married visa. So, hoping that would work out, because now that they were married, any question about any of this, that, and the other, you would have seen their intent. And they were, like I said, they were together for a long time, 5-6 years, something like that. And then it did work. I mean, it took a couple of years or so, but it did work. And I don't know if it would have worked otherwise. So yeah, that's where we're at with those two stories. But I would love to know your thoughts on that story as well. Do you think that the reason why we don't see it is that interview? Is it because maybe it got a little too spicy for daytime TV? If you watched it, let me know. If you did, just drop it in the comment section. And if not, then you share that as well. But if you did, was it spicy? I mean, Angela's known to be, a little crazy, and a lot of times her interviews I see mostly is at night. So prime time is a little bit of a different bag than daytime TV. But the fact that she was able to get on Drew Barrymore, I find that to be interesting. So yeah, and of course, your thoughts about Monique Samuels, and no longer going to be on Traders. What are your thoughts on that? Drop those in the comment section as well. And I think for that, that wraps up this video. And I'm so glad I got a chance to spend time with you today. And I hope that you did enjoy, and that you will, kind of conversate with me down in the comment section. I truly appreciate it. And of course, if you are not subscribed, and go ahead and consider subscribing, and then subscribe and just be part of the family, be part of the community. I would love to have you. And of course, I would really appreciate it. You give this video a like on the way out. I hope that you have a great rest of your evening. I think this is going to be it for me for tonight. I am ready to relax and kick back, and maybe watch a Lifetime movie. We'll see. I will probably be popping back on again tomorrow with some more stories. So make sure you have your notification bells on, so you'll know exactly when I will be uploading, and hopefully you will not miss it. But if you do, it'll be still there on the platform. You can always come back. All right. So I think that will about do it for tonight, and definitely about do it for this video. So you have a great evening. Thank you for stopping by, and I will probably see you tomorrow. Bye.